Hello everyone, how are you today? As you can see, today I have a little companion with me. Where is she? There you go. She just jumped on me before I started, so, well, something new today, isn't it? And I think for me, it really fits to our happiness challenge because she is just lighting me up, and I actually trained her to sit on my shoulder, as you can probably see right now. So, yeah, it's gonna be a bit uncomfortable. Come on. Yep, get the tail out of my face. Yeah, there we go. So, first off, welcome to our sixth session of our happiness challenge. I'm so happy that you're here. And first off, I would like to know, how have things been for you? How was your last week? What experiences did you make? Did you do the homework? Did you had some beautiful experiences? Whatever it is, please share it in the comments down below. I would really like to know how things are going with you. And for today, we actually want to shift things a little bit up, because in the previous sessions, we mostly focused on the internal work, about how we can bring happiness up from the inside, how we can nourish ourselves and charge ourselves with happiness. And now today we want to focus on how we can bring that out into the world, because the greatest experience in life, the ultimate experience of happiness and fulfillment, is when you can give something beyond yourself. If you can give something to others in whatever way is possible for you, but for you knowing that you helped someone on a deep level, or maybe that you created life or protected life, this is the most blissful and meaningful experience that I ever had. And this is for me, this is the meaning and the purpose of my own life. And I hope that we can find something for you as well. To illustrate that, let me share you a little bit a story about myself. Back in the days when I was like a teenager or something, I always heard these stories about people in poverty and homeless people. And we didn't have so many of that in Germany back then. But still, you always see those things in television. And I spent a lot of time in zoos, so they try to educate you about palm oil, the palm oil industry, how big the impact is on the planet, and all these kind of things. And back then, like intellectually, I knew this is bad, and I knew things had to change. But for me as an individual, what should I do? I mean, back then I was just a teenager. I didn't know, I didn't see any way that I could have an impact on the world as a single person. To me, that didn't make sense. It was too big, too large for me, right? But in the last couple of years, things started to shift, because we started traveling the world. We started seeing things, and we saw people with diseases I didn't even know. We saw people living on streets. We saw how entire landscapes of trees were cut down. We saw the impact of the palm oil industry when we were traveling via bus. We were driving for 6 hours, and on the left side, on the right side, to the horizon, there were only oil palms, nothing else. There was no diversity, there was no life, there was nothing. And that experience reached me on a completely different level, on an emotional level. And even though I was still just an individual, I had Lisa by my side, but I made the decision that I want to do something. I want to have an impact. Even if it's just a little one, I want to have an impact. And so I started to search for ways to contribute, to simply give something. And I didn't even know what was possible at the time. But I was lucky. I think that one of the first things was a friend helped me to help orphanage children in Nepal. They lost their parents during an earthquake, and they were entirely relying on help from others. And so what to me what actually blew my mind, because I was always thinking in a big scale, is that by contributing $50 a month, I can support children an entire month with food, shelter, and education. And while in the first moment it just seems like, okay, it's just for 1 month, but when you think deeper about it, it's not just about a month. You can provide an entire life for a person. And I have the blessing that the children that I support, she wants to become a nurse and help other people. So that's going to have a ripple effect in the future. And to be able to provide basically like life for another person, a future, to be able to provide a future for someone is such a humbling experience. And for me, it's a privilege. And then in another country, we went to Cambodia, and we met a family that's entirely relying on tourism. Right? Over there are a lot of tuk-tuk drivers, so when you come from the airport, they drive you around all day for a few bucks, and that was their entire income. And before it worked for them, but as you probably know, with the current situation, no tourists, no money, no income. And so they were really, really struggling. And fortunately, we still kept contact after we left Cambodia. And so he reached out and he explained to me the situation. And we were thinking about how can we find a sustainable solution for that? Because yes, you could give money, but it just would run out and that's not really sustainable. But we came up with the idea that he could start a fish farm, which he actually did. And by now he has crabs as well. So that way, he has a sustainable way to provide food for his family. And he's even providing food for his neighbors. And it's sustainable. And this is a beautiful thing. And of course, we are planting trees as well. We want to provide habitats for wildlife and food forests for people in poverty and all these kind of things. But what I just want to illustrate to you is that there's so many ways to give, to help. It doesn't have to be money. You can just, for some people, it can mean a lot if you just be present with them. If you just spend your time with them, be fully present, be there for them. That can make a huge difference in people's lives. You can do some volunteer work. You can give food to homeless people or to someone else. Like we have this thing here, we have a beautiful community where when we have too much stuff, we give it to them for free, and some of them they even divide it to other families as well, especially people that struggled during our situation right now. And then some of them, maybe they have something grown in the garden, they have too much of something, we get something back, and it's a beautiful way. We are just sharing whatever we have. If you don't get anything in return, it's totally fine, nobody cares, there's no money involved, and it's just beautiful. And you make beautiful connections to amazing people, and for me, this is what life is about. So I just want to share that with you and really, really go deep into that in today's session, because it can feel overwhelming to give something to others when you're not whole yourself. But when you did the previous exercises, when you fill yourself up, when you have something and then you give out of that creates an unbelievable, ultimate happiness and fulfillment in your life. And so I really want to go deep into that. And actually, my challenge for you this week is to think about, for the next 7 days, ask yourself in the morning the question, how can I serve today? Who can I help? What can I do for someone? And just ask yourself that question every single day, and you're going to come up with something. And my challenge for you is that for the next 7 days, just do one thing. Help one person, or wildlife, the planet, whatever it is. But do one thing, contribute in any kind of way beyond yourself. And I would really like it would mean a lot to me if you could share it. Share it in the comments down below, or share it with me in private. It would just mean a lot to me if I could have that impact on you to really take action and do something for others. Because life can be hard, but life is also a huge privilege. And I think we all deserve to have an amazing, rich, full life, full of energy and love and joy and everything. And that's why also I'm so happy that you're here, that you're part of the community, and I'm so happy that you're watching this until this point, because life is meaningful and we can give meaning to our own lives, to other people, and we can have an impact even as a single person. So I really want to thank you for being here again, and I wish you lots of love, light, and appreciation. And I wish my cat would be here so we can say goodbye, but she's not here, so it's all good. Maybe she's coming along next week again, but until then, I wish you the most amazing week, and I see you next week.